What's up, everybody? Loren Anthony here, Bloodline, interviewing the awesome, powerful, almighty Chuck Billy of Testament. What's up, Chuck?
Good. How you doing?
Good to see you, man.
Good.
I can just feel the awesome going on in your presence. How is that possible?
I don't know.
Do you think it's just the whole 25 years of just rocking with Testament?
I think it's definitely. We're probably one of the starting metal bands that started thrash, 20-something years ago in the Bay Area sound, so here we are still doing it, 25 years later.
Awesome. So with thrash music in general, when you would describe it into your own personal feelings as far as you as a person and as your heritage and culture goes, how would you involve the thrash music scene, the music it provides to you as a person towards other people like yourself?
Well, there's a lot of power in this style of music. When I first started in this band, this culture thrash style of music was so new, and I was older than the rest of the guys in the group, so I listened to more like rock kind of stuff, where these guys were more into Merciful Fate and Venom and more black metal kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that early 80s when thrash metal started happening with Exodus and Metallica and everybody, there was just so much energy and power. And there was something about that music that just, definitely when it was a live performance, it drove people crazy. Mm-hmm. People like stage dove and got the pit going, and it really made people move and want to express themselves. So I think, what drew me to that was when I first joined the band, thrash metal was new to me. But what drew me to it was just the power and the energy. These guys were like young kids, 15, 16, but the music had so much power and energy. It was beyond their age, for me. And to me, I was like, wow, this is something new. And me being Native American and a bigger guy and stuff, mm-hmm. It was about, I didn't fit into that glam scene or, hair bands and all that stuff. I didn't fit into that. So when I got together with thrash metal, it was right up what I wanted and what I felt like, man, this is what I should be doing. Mm-hmm. I feel the power and the energy, and I feel that I have something that I can contribute to this style and genre of music, and bring to it. And it's totally true. Like 25 years later, it's still about seeing new younger generations of kids come in there, getting in the pit, stage diving, and it's the power of the music, And it's one type of music that's always stayed consistent for that, never swayed and went anywhere else,
That is awesome, dude. Like, when you go to these shows and you're on the road and you're on tour and seeing these different crowds, each crowd has a different, pretty much ethnicity, nationalities, and stuff like that. As far as from where you come from, can you explain about your tribe and your people and what their cultures and histories are?
Well, our tribe's, from Hopland, California, Pomo, and ours is a small tribe and pretty poor tribe, Mm-hmm. There wasn't much there since I was growing up when we'd go to the reservation. It was basically a stereotypical reservation, a lot of broken down cars mm-hmm. and garbage and the landscaping overgrown and stuff. And a lot of that was just the way it was until, of course, a casino popped up on the reservation, and then things changed a little bit for our people. We started having better transportation to get kids to school and sports activities, and just getting the water system up and running there. There was just so much that helped since then. That's only been like 20 years. Mm-hmm. So our culture, coming from really like nothing, and it was kind of losing the language and the heritage, and our tribe's known for basket weaving, so a lot of that was being lost, mm-hmm. just through the generations just of neglect and not paying attention too much to it. And I think now that there's something there on the reservation, the casino, they have money to actually spend in programs and keep the language there, the education, the basket weaving. So all that's kind of coming back in our tribe and our people. which it's good. I mean, everybody thought a casino would be a bad thing, but it actually, for our small little, reservation, it's totally night and day now.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Really good, because a lot of times you get these reservations and they get their casinos, and then next thing a lot of things boost up. You get suicides, you get a lot of alcoholism, just people kind of using the money the wrong way.
Well, I mean, there's always going to be that, and there's of course, the first time the casino's up, the first tribal council, there's always word of stealing money and taking money, and it's almost like expected almost, because you got a big multi-million-dollar company coming into with people that never ran a multi-million-dollar company and don't know better, and you kind of just learn by just doing it, and so early years in our casino there was a lot of money lost and missing, and it was like money, everybody's grabbing it and wanting the jobs, so. But it's gotten better. They finally figured it out and brought people in that have ran casinos and are running it properly now. So it's a good thing, because I think that the kids are what's going to benefit from it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you think you will ever see Chuck Billy councilman?
My cousins and all my friends on the tribe are trying to get me to run.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's. Like all my brothers came with me here today.
Oh, wow, that's
so
cool.
You'll see all my brothers, and they're involved with the tribe and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My younger brother Andy, he worked in the casino and he's been on the council and everything. But my other cousins there, they think me, because I'm in a band and I got some popularity, that's something they need. Something that would help. I don't know necessarily. I think that, like most of our family, once they reach a certain age, they move out of civilization, go back to the reservation, because we got property and they got a job there for sure. And, so I mean, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be retired up on the reservation, and then it might seem appropriate to do that because I'm there.
Yeah.
But I think living off the reservation, I don't think it feels right.
So, with your brothers here, I mean, I remember checking into some stuff about you guys having a band back, a while back. Is that still going on too?
Dublin Death Patrol. Well, there's a record coming out in May, but we're not really touring anymore. It was only a thing we got together to do for fun, and it was about my brothers and my friends that I grew up with in Dublin. And you had to be from Dublin to be in the band.
Oh, okay.
And Phil Demmel from Machine Head, and Troy Lucetta from Tesla, and a couple other guys were recorded on the record. And it was only just supposed to be for fun, and it ended up turning out that the record went to Europe, and we got to go over and tour Europe and open up for Black Sabbath and do some really positive and good things.
Yeah.
So the guys had fun with it, but it was just like, everybody's got day jobs and families, and it's not like a real thing. So we kind of did a record, and just if shows come at us, we do them, but if not, there's no plans to do anything.
Yeah. Wow. Pretty interesting. So going to Europe, touring the States, all these different places. What are your most memorable shows? I guess let's say maybe your top 3.
Well, when I'd say like in 1988, the Monsters of Rock in Germany. It was massive. It was about 120,000 people. And that was the biggest crowd we ever played to. And there was Kiss and Van Halen and Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden. All my heroes. I was like, wow, thrown in backstage. My dressing room was right next to David Lee Roth and everybody. I'm like, this is it right here, and that was pretty memorable because we're just starting our career and pretty young at the time and didn't know the way it worked, really. We just kind of just did our thing. So here we are, the young kids with the veterans playing this monster, massive show.
Yeah.
And that to me stuck in my mind because I met David Lee Roth that time for the first time, and total cool guy, and Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. I met them that time, and that was the one thing I really remembered a lot. Meet my heroes, Bruce Dickinson. So that was one show. Another show probably Our very first show out of California in 1987, we went to New York to L'Amour's to open up for Slayer.
Oh, wow.
2 nights of opening up for Slayer. And this is back in 1987, so any band who opened up for Slayer was going to get ripped apart, no matter what. So we knew that we were in for, a beating up there on stage. And we played 2 nights, and the first night, people were like kind of booing and spitting and throwing things and throwing drinks, and we were young kids. We were like, yeah, we don't care. Just go ahead, come on, throw it, And we just went at it, right back at them. And by the 3rd or 4th song, that stopped, and we captured them. They were like fans right then.
That's cool.
And so that was like a real turning point, memorable time. We knew we were going to get beat up by Slayer fans, but we wanted the challenge. We were confident in what we were doing and that we were going to take it on, and let's do it, So that's probably the second one that really sticks out,
Nice. So with all that, changing, people's perception of who you guys are on stage and who you guys are off stage, and just bringing that into everything, having people know who you guys are as Testament, and as you as Chuck Billy being a Native American, and then also getting on the cover of this magazine, Native Entertainment. I've seen this magazine a lot of places, and a lot of kids and a lot of fans of heavy metal music have this issue. I've seen it like at tribal ceremonies. I've seen it in fry bread stands and stuff like that. So all these different places, you just kind of run into it. So
well, it's good.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good thing. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be on the very first Native American Music Awards at the Foxwoods. This must have been 10 years ago or so. And it surprised me how many Native artists there were that were doing really well, selling a lot of records, really just touring a lot of reservation circuits, just playing a lot of casinos and doing really well. And at that time, I thought, well, where's all the heavy metal bands here? There was no heavy metal bands nominated or categories or anything like that. So it kind of made me think like, wow, there must not be that much heavy metal and Native American artists. So I've seen over the years it's grown. So I've always felt like, man, if Testament or I could at least get to my people, and go to. I even told my booking agent and managers, book Testament and some reservations. Let's do some reservations and let's go out there and play, because they're not, maybe they're not fortunate to have the money to come down. We'll come down, bring a cheap price ticket, at least get to see the show and get turned on to what we do, and see what it's about, so that's something I'm trying to work on. And to me, it was like, wow, a lot of these guys or bands were platinum bands and just doing casino circuit, selling a lot of records. Now, but that was again back when people were selling a lot of records. It's different today, but still, I think it's still a good thing to get out there and represent.
Yeah, definitely. It has to. I don't know. For me, on my point of view, it's kind of like you have to see like the culture and the historical part of it. Going back so many years of like how natives have been kind of pushed down a lot when it comes down to a lot of things. So there's a lot of natives, not only like in music, but like in the arts and in all kinds of things, like theater, poetry. There's so many talented natives out there, and when it comes to like the rise of them, it's just there's not so much recognition, And when it comes to something like this is huge. You being here for it, being put in permanently be placed here at the Hard Rock Casino. I mean, that's
it meant a lot to me and my brothers. That's why my brothers like we're going to come there and support, because they know it's a big thing. And of course Tito trying to get us in other hard rocks and stuff would be great. We travel the world. We've been a band together 25 years is our anniversary this year. And we were founders of a lot of the thrash metal movement, so we should be letting the people around the world in every hard rock cafe know that Testament, not just being native, but Testament being Testament, should be there. And on top of it being native, is icing on the cake for it, I think.
Yeah, that is awesome. I'm really proud that you kept representing the Native people out there. That's something that's really hard to do because a lot of people just don't understand, especially when it comes to like band members and whatnot. Sometimes they're just don't really think about the big picture. It's kind of more about like more think of themselves or what's going on. But as far as your band members go now, how are they about Testament being placed in Hard Rock Casino in regard to this issue?
They're excited. They're really happy for me to when we were seeing them. We were all together yesterday, and they're just like have a good time, enjoy it, and congratulations. And on Facebook and Twitter, all my friends and fans out there are totally supportive and just like right on. It's about time, and right on, So that's good. It's a good thing. It's a first step, I would say, at least.
That's awesome. So you've been in this game for quite some time now, and I'm pretty sure a lot of viewers are going to check this out, and as far as being a part of this magazine and anything related to you, they're going to follow you just like on Twitter and on Facebook and stuff like that. But I would want to get your thoughts on advice to young musicians or young rising metal bands that are out there pushing what they got, because like I know you've seen the scene come from straight up mailing your demo stuff in.
That's how we started, mailing to Europe, just getting in the mail order. And it's when people ever ask me, what do you got to tell for the new upcoming bands or anything? It's such a different world today than it was 25 years ago in the record business. Of course, budgets are a lot less. The major labels aren't signing more metal-style bands. It's more independent labels, which kind of took over. Independent labels are huge now. So whenever people ask, what's the one thing you can tell people? I say, well, if you can take ownership and keep control of your music, that's the best thing, because the record business isn't the most honest business, and nobody, I don't know anybody who just throws money at you until you come asking for it. So there's a lot of money that gets lost in the music business system. So I always felt, and for Testament, we even did it like in 1994, we started our own record label. So every Testament record from 94 till today, we've been licensing to labels to put the music out. Now if they do a bad job or screw us over, guess what? I get to take my music and go somewhere else and give it to somebody else who wants to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So that, to me, I always tell people, if you can own your music, go for it. If that's a key breaker in a deal, man, keep your music,
Definitely, man. That's some good stuff. Before we go, tell me some stuff about the new record and when it's going to be out and how bad.
New record's going to be out April 27th. It's called The Dark Roots of Earth. And it's going to be a really good record. It's got some. We took a long time writing this record, putting it together. We started a lot of it, recording it, then did the Anthrax tour and Death Angel, and then now we just got back last month and we've been working on it for the whole month. We got about 3 days left in the studio. Wednesday we deliver the record to start mixing it. So I'd say that this record, it's every song on this record stands on its own. There's not a theme really about the whole record. It's definitely a Testament record. I'd say matured a little bit. I don't know how else to describe it, but I wouldn't say commercial or sold out or something, but it's got some really good songs on it, and it's just not thrash.
Yeah.
It's got some really good songs and melodies and stuff on it. So we're proud of this record. It's going to be, I think, a really good record. I'm
looking forward to hearing it, definitely. I like how everything's just coming full circle for you. Like it's just with the guys from Anthrax and Death Angel just coming back together. And it was like 25 years ago you guys started touring with them?
25 years ago.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome, with all the stuff in the magazine.
It's awesome. We were planning a video right now. We're shooting the first single's called Native Blood.
Oh, awesome.
And so the video definitely is going to have a lot of Native in it. We're thinking of bringing, when we say Native blood, and we're not just thinking like Native American. It's every culture's is like their Native culture. So the meaning is beyond just saying Native American. It's Native in everybody. So the videos, I think we're trying to plan a pretty cool looking video. But it's definitely going to have Native, probably a lot of reservation stuff and dancers and stuff like that going on in it.
Sweet. Definitely. All right, guys. Chuck Billy with Native Entertainment Magazine, Res TV. My name is Loren Anthony. You guys got to be here. I wish you guys were here because this guy is totally awesome. He just brings out some awesome vibes and some good stuff to hear. So check out Native Entertainment Magazine, Res TV. And thank you, Chuck Billy.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, man.